This is what happens to people who don't subscribe, so please help a brother out.
When anchoring with Sledge, don't make too many holes because you probably get C4 when making too many holes. Especially since you're trying to get up in most of the area. They could probably shoot you and maybe show you with the C4. So when you play Sledge, don't put down too many holes. Only put a couple down when you probably get C4 when making too many holes. Especially since you're trying to get up in most of the area. They could probably shoot you and maybe show you with the C4. So when you play Sledge, don't put down too many holes. Only put a couple down when they anchor from above. When playing Thatcher, don't throw your EMP straight into the drone hole or a doorway because if the range can get it from an outer area. So out here, if there's bandits that are reinforced and there's shockwires or Jaegers, ADSs, you can get it from outside. So don't throw them inside on doorways or ADSs. Will eat them all up and all that other stuff. When playing Ash, don't use your breach rounds on doorways that can be easily broken. Instead, use your breaching rounds mainly for getting shock wires, ADSs, stuff like that. So try to be reliable with your breaching rounds. When playing Thermite, you don't always have to go for the walls. If your team doesn't have any utility to stop shock wires, electro claws, mute jammers, you can always just use your Thermite charge to get it from under, and then you're able to get the utility from under. That's only with electro claw and shock wire and flicking out with you can easily get the utility like this easily. So keep that in mind when playing Thermite. Don't always try to go for the wall if your team doesn't have any utility to get the wall. When playing Twitch, do not take your drone inside the map immediately in drone face, mainly because you can save drones for getting shock wires and electro claws later on. ADS as well. Instead, save your drone for outside, and then you'll know later on where their site is, and then they'll have every utility placed down, and you have a chance of getting shock wires, electro claws, mutes, ADS, stuff like that for your team later on in the round, and that could probably cause you to win the round. So do not go in immediately in drone phase if you're playing Twitch. When playing Monty, try not to push by yourself into site or and also when pushing with teammates, do not rush like if you were a Blitz. Try not to do that. When you're playing Monty, you're pretty much trying to secure everywhere, make sure everything's good. Hopefully go into a room, maybe pull off a good plant. But when playing Monty, try not to be by yourself because that could end very badly for you, especially if there's more than one person. So when playing Monty, try your best not to be by yourself. When playing Glaz, don't always stay in spawn. I really hate seeing people stay in spawn acting like they have a really good spot as Glaz, and then they'll probably protect the plant, and then they manage to find a hiding spot where they can easily defuse, and yeah, they can get the bump. So when playing Glaz, try not to stay in spawn. Always work with your team, especially when you're planting, and try to get a lot closer just in case if they manage to find a couple spots where they can be safe from defusing. When playing Blitz, don't be scared to be too aggressive, but also don't play him like if it was a Monty. And Monty's more careful, maybe checking up for his team, but Blitz is more of an aggressive type of shield. He's really good at being aggressive because of his stun, his melee, and it's harder to shoot him with the shield than so play Blitz more aggressively than Monty or Fuse or whatever shield other there is, but yeah, try to be aggressive when playing Blitz most of the time. When playing IQ and you got all the utility, the shock wires, mute jammers, all that kind of stuff, ADSs with her detector, don't only use it just to get detected. You can also use it to find out where bomb could be, find out where vigil and post can be using their gadgets. So keep in mind that if they have a vigil or a post, you can possibly detect where they can be 24/7 when it comes to using your detector for IQ. So keep that in mind when playing IQ. When playing Buck, don't always use the skeleton key mainly to get areas for your team to get into. For example, out here in the workshop, or maybe getting into the rotation to make it for your team, get any bomb. Easily use the skeleton key to get utility from under. So keep that in mind when playing Buck. You don't always have to open up everything for your team, but you can also get utility. And yeah, try to pay attention more with that. When playing Blackbeard, don't always head glitch, mainly because there's a tip of your head that can be seen and can be shot without having to go through, or while going through the glass. So keep in mind, don't always head glitch with Blackbeard because there are ways to counter it. There's little angles that they can get and they can easily shoot your head without having to shoot the glass on your ballistic shield. So keep that in mind when playing Blackbeard. When playing Capitao, don't always use this firebolt to shoot directly at areas. Instead, you can also use it to shoot from above. For example, right here in coastline, and it rains down, as you can see, hits the whole cool vibe stairs. So keep that in mind when playing Capitao. Also, with Capitao smokes, you can also cover up, instead of covering up doorways, you can also use it to cover up people's vision. For example, right here, as you can see, you can still see their legs, maybe their face, but they're still blinded. So, and even when crouched, they still can't see. Prone, probably, but keep that in mind when using Capitao smokes and his firebolt. When playing Hibana, don't always use your Excariosis to get one single wall. Instead, try this trick out. So switch it to 2, and once you get the 2, you should be able to shoot this little inside area, like that. And then the same goes for here. And once you do that, it kind of like confuses both sides, so then it opens a lot bigger. Obviously, it's not over there, but it doesn't really matter. And yeah, it's a little opening for your team. When playing Jackal, don't always scan people's footsteps. I'm pretty sure the color tells them, but the color I would recommend scanning would be, I'd say blue, or no, red, maybe yellowish, but try not to always scan people's feet, because it could be easy info on how to tell you where people can be, and without them expecting it. So don't always scan when using Jackal. Maybe you can get a free pick knowing their footsteps, knowing their location, trap them in a room, and your team can just finish them up there. So don't always scan when playing Jackal. When playing Ying, don't always be afraid to push in. For your stuns and then manage to push could be a really good way for your team to get easy picks. But a little trick that I can teach you guys is when he's in this bomb and you're able to manage to get the plant off. A little strategy I can give you guys is toss the smoke out from here in the outside area. Once it goes off, hold the charge and let it go automatically when you throw it. And it pretty much blocks the view and blocks from them coming in. So even if they did walk in, it would stun them and they would pretty much walk in freely picked and killed, which is amazing for you. But keep that in mind when playing Ying. Don't be afraid to push. She's pretty much meant for that and very underrated. Playing Zofia, don't always use it on doorways, but instead try to go for utility, and it can be really good for your team, like Maestro cams, shield maybe, shock wires, mute jammers. Zofia is actually another way of getting shock wires and mute jammers. If your team does not have a Thatcher or maybe a way of getting shock wires and all that, Zofia can definitely be on there, and it's really useful for her. And also, do not use your stuns always to get kills. It's good to get kills, but it's not always used to get kills. It's mainly used to clear rooms. For example, like this, you just shoot it, and if it explodes like mid-air, that's how you know someone's in there. But if it bounces around, then that means no one's there. But it's really good for cleaning rooms. I really like to use it a lot for cleaning rooms. It helps me out a lot. Maybe burn out of ADS so you can get out ADS, master cam, stuff like that. But yeah, I like to use it to clear rooms. When playing Dokkaebi, do not call their phones very early on in the round. That is a very stupid idea, and that really loses a lot of value for Dokkaebi. A lot. Seriously, a lot. Instead, call it when you think you're very sure that there could be a roamer near. It really helps against roamers, just to know if people are in sight or not. Really good way of using it, so keep that in mind when playing Dokkaebi. It's a really strong phone call. Alright, same concept goes for Lion. Do not use it at spawn, because it can be really useful mid-round, at the end of the round. But my main advice for Lion is to use them midway through the round or at the end of the round. Because Lion's vibrator is really strong, and it could really help. It could really help out for your team as well, mainly because everyone could be standing still, besides Vigil, because Vigil can counter it, unfortunately. But it's really overpowered if there is no Vigil. But yeah, the vibrator is god tier. So yeah, save them, don't use them on spawn. That's the best time to use them in mid-round. round and end round, or if you got the plant off, that's a perfect time to use it. When playing Finka, bro, what the fuck? Bro, why you playing Finka? Man, no, I'm kidding. Well, anyways, no, but in all seriousness, Finka is probably one of, I would say, I wouldn't call her the worst. Her guns are good, but her ability can be annoying, mainly because recoil control. Almost no recoil, right? Well, obviously, let's go back to regular Finka. Very, we have to control it yourself, right? So that's why a lot of people hate Finka. But for Finka, personally, it's really good on resistance against people. So most of the time, when I see Finka mains, the people who play Finka, they like to flip the room, activate the Finka boost immediately. And they have some resistance against players shooting them before, who shoot bodies. I don't know if headshots, it increases your headshot health or whatever, I don't know. But most of the time, I would not recommend activating a Finka boost. I'd say the best time to activate a Finka boost is when you're going down, or when your friends are down. When playing Maverick, don't always make bullet holes in the, or little holes in the bottom to trigger utility. For example, shark wires or mute jammers, but don't always do that. Don't rely on that to be your first move when playing Maverick. One thing I really do like to do with Mavericks, I like to make a little hole right here. I'd say like in the middle. Cook a grenade for a little bit, throw it. Obviously, you throw it like that. You throw it like that, and it goes in, and you're able to easily get some utility from the other side, right there. Obviously, don't throw it like I did, but you know what I mean. Obviously, but yeah, it's an easy way of getting utility on the other side. But don't always put little bullet holes to get maybe stuff like that. But yeah, don't always make your first thing to make a hole and get the gemmer sharper, because sometimes people can be prone and don't be right in the head. When playing Nomad, be careful on where you place your air jabs. If you place them on doorways like this, pretty much you can shoot it right here. It's pretty easy to get for defenders and you just pretty much shoot. Instead, I would recommend putting them on top of the doorway. And then it's, once they see it, it's a lot harder, and by the time they see it, they'll probably get hit by it. So when it comes to putting it on doorways, don't put them on there. Instead, put them on the roof of the doorway. It's a lot easier, and it's a lot difficult for the defenders to peek through and try to shoot it and get a couple picks. I have gotten a lot of games where one air drop has saved the whole team. And yeah, keep that in mind when playing Nomad. We move on to the next one. Playing GridLock, you don't always have to throw your trap stingers in the ground. You can also throw them on walls because they bounce. Yeah, try to keep it more distant when throwing them, because a lot can spawn in. As you can see right here, there's one spawning in. A lot can spawn in. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you throw it in like a really spread out area. I'm gonna show you how fun throwing them, because she does have a lot of track stingers that come out. So as you can see, that's all of them. That's a lot of track stingers, and in a room that's probably like covering the whole room with track stingers. They're really annoying, so keep that in mind when playing GridLock. It can help for using, for defenders trying to defuse. It's really annoying to fight against the GridLock. You have to worry about the track stingers and then losing health on them. I think it's like 10, 5, something like that, but it's still a lot. And yeah, it really can affect the round. When playing NOKK, it doesn't only block out cameras, but it's also pretty much like Cav's stealth ability, where it's a lot slower for you to walk and muffles your sound, stuff like that. But it also can be used as stealth, not only just to block out cameras. When playing Amaru, keep in mind that drone phase is probably what's going to help you the most if you want to rush in as Amaru. Mainly because you can see where the enemies can be, where they're preparing. If you can get into room very easily, plant, do whatever. But yeah, drone phases are really strong with go-to thing when it comes to Amaru. And yeah, don't just freely go in without having a drone phase unless you're playing casual. But if you're playing ranked and you're playing Amaru, keep that in mind. The drone phase is probably going to be your go-to type of thing here. Same concept goes for Kali. If you're staying in spawn and you're playing Kali and you're shooting from, I don't know, maybe like border, spawn, I forgot the spawn is, but it's like the last one, which is like a streak a lot. But yeah, try not to stay in spawn too long when playing Kali. And another thing to keep in mind, don't only use her ability, I forgot what you recall, but yeah, don't only use her ability to get walls, bandits, mutes, because this ability can also allow you to get shields, barbed wire, possibly ADSs depending on, well not depending, ADSs if it's on a cooldown, and a bunch of other stuff on the other side of walls. So if there's a Goyo shield maybe like on this wall, Kali can possibly get it from right here. So keep that in mind. Kali's gadget is not only used to get shockwire and all that other kind of stuff, it can be used to get shield, utility, pretty much anything. So keep that in mind when playing Kali. When playing Iana, try not to be in a near range of doorways or anywhere like that, because then the enemy can probably hear you and they'll probably run out on you and kill you. Although a really good counter against Iana is Vigil, mainly because you cannot see what Vigil is doing. All he has to do is turn on his ability, and he can pretty much go outside and don't near the head, get a free kill. So keep that in mind when playing Iana. A really good counter is Vigil, but try not to be very, I guess, in an open area when using Iana's clone. It's very dangerous for you. It can be, especially against Vigil, because Vigil can easily drone in the head. When playing Ace, never ever make your holes crouchable. Crouchable is not the best way, mainly because your movement is pretty much staying the same, and pretty much everyone knows what crouchable is, and they'll probably headshot you. Well, what I'm trying to say is, do not make it crouchable, because you can get easy headshot towards anybody watching anything from there, maybe right here, and just anywhere in general. So when playing Ace, try to make it vaultable instead, because when vaultable, it can make your, I guess, hitbox a little bit wonky. I can't really describe it, but it's just better to have it vaultable, because your head kind of moves upwards with you when vaulting. So keep that in mind, and then you can also kind of react a lot faster. But yeah, keep that in mind. Don't make it crouchable. Crouchable is not the move. That's not the way. The best way is vaultable. But keep that in mind when playing. When playing Zero, try to focus with your Argus launchers. Try to have 2 for utility and 2 for, I guess, evil eye cameras. Best way I can put it. And also, when using the Argus launcher, try to hide your shot. So if there's someone behind the counter, you can hide your shot a lot better. Maybe putting it right there. And it should be like right here. But yeah, try to hide it more efficiently when using Zero. I've seen a lot of people be really smart with their Argus launchers by putting it in like a corner and making it really difficult to see. Sometimes a reinforced wall, most people don't expect it. But yeah, it's pretty smart to put it right here, mainly because it's hard to see. But although the bad side about it is the view right there, anybody can shoot it. But what I like to do, my rule for, I guess, Argus launcher, or when playing Zero, don't use your Argus launchers all to try to get utility. Don't always do that. Although it's good to get utility, don't always risk your Argus launchers, because they can be used as evil eyes, and it can be really difficult for them to spot the camera if you put them in very good areas. For example, I guess I'd say that's a decent way. But yeah, keep in mind, don't use your Argus launchers all in the same area to try to get a utility. Maybe one shockwire. Don't always try to get it. So keep that in mind with Zero. He's really good at having cameras for your team, pretty much making sure no plant goes off, none of that. So keep that in mind with playing Zero. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, subscribe, all of the good stuff. And I really do hope you learned something from this video. If not, I'm very sorry. But if you did, I guess leave a comment. If you guys want to see me give more tutorials on, I guess, operators, maybe advice, I don't know, for operators, let me know. And I'll definitely do that later in the future. But for right now, this is gonna be it. Peace out, guys.